Hey guys, guess what? It's Angel. You're watching my latest video, and I just wanted to do a quick life update. I'm not sure how many of you really even care about watching these, but I said in the last video, which I just filmed and I'm uploading right now, that I would do a quick life update. So here you go. It's been quite a while in between my two videos that I did, this one and the last one, and I don't like to space out so far in between content. Like, I like to at least do one video every month, and it's been a while. So basically, I said in the video I just filmed that I got COVID this year. Correction, I got COVID last year, but it seems like this, like last year and this new year, because we're in January right now of 2021, it feels like it's just been a continuation as far as 2020 and 2021, because we're all still dealing with COVID. And if you're in a state that was not like a lockdown state, you probably are not feeling it. Not to take away and say that you're not feeling the effects of COVID, because I think everybody is. But some states have not been locked down. I'm in Washington State, and we have been in a lockdown type situation since March of 2020. And we're just now, I think our governor lifted us to a phase 2, which we were in a phase 2 and then we went back to a phase 1, and now we're finally going back into a phase 2, which is not statewide, it's just certain counties. So my county went to a phase 2 finally. What does that mean? It means now we can go and dine in restaurants, and gyms are back open. And so that's a big deal. We can actually go meet our friends at a restaurant, sit down and have dinner. For our family though, we actually started like not going places back in January, because my husband, who generally travels for work, but this year, in 2020, that changed because of COVID. He had been exposed to a lot of people like directly from China. They had flown to a big conference in Vegas in January, and he had been exposed to them, and he got really, really sick. We're pretty sure with COVID in January. And we had quarantined him here at home, so I was exposed to him, but he was wearing a mask, I was wearing a mask, and our son didn't really have exposure to him at all. So we didn't get it. And so, but once it hit the states, Washington State was hit first. So we kind of stopped going out in January. So we've really felt locked in like all of 2020. But going back to like, okay, so I got COVID in October. I caught it from a family member. I went to Utah, and that's what they don't really talk about, is you don't expect that you're going to catch it from a family member. Like, I wore a mask at the airport, wore a mask on the plane, got to my family member's house, and as soon as I walked in the door, I was exposed. And 3 days after I got there, I started getting sick. And it started with a really bad headache. I thought I was having allergy problems because my family member has cats, and I'm allergic to cats. And I thought for sure that's what it was. But then we got a phone call from my family member's hairstylist saying that she had been diagnosed with COVID, or tested positive. Diagnosed probably is not the right word. Had tested positive for COVID, and that my family member should go get tested. And so they did, and they tested positive, and then by the time they got their positive test back, I was already pretty sick. And then I tested, and of course I tested positive, which I already expected that I would. So I isolated, and I got really sick. So my family member ended up in the hospital. They did not have to go on, a ventilator or respirator. They got treated though with everything that President Trump got except for Regeneron. So they got remdesivir, they got convalescent plasma, they got a strong steroid. I don't think it was dexamethasone, but it was something like that. And they were in the hospital for 5 days. I did not develop pneumonia. Okay, this is a weird thing. This is just to let you know how nasty this virus is. So I did not develop pneumonia, but I got really sick. I had really bad headache for like the first 2 days. I had stomach upset. I had allergy-like symptoms, like like the worst sore throat I've ever had. It hurt so bad. Itchy throat, scratchy chest. I didn't ever have a runny nose. I never ran a fever the entire time. Never ran a fever. Achiness, couldn't get off of the couch. And I was following, they have symptom trackers online, and I was following those. And it was almost like clockwork, me getting symptoms, following the symptoms tracker. The symptom I was really the most afraid of was the breathing, the tightness of the chest, and the shortness of breath. That was the one. Those two were the ones that I was like, please, please, please don't let me have these, because I am asthmatic. And so COVID alone scared the crap out of me, because I've had pneumonia in the past several times. Being asthmatic is just, it's not the greatest anyway. And so I was always really, really careful to not, to just protect myself. And so all the symptoms trackers that I saw said that if you were going to have shortness of breath and the tightness in your chest, that it was going to probably happen around day 7. So day 7 hit, and my chest got tight, and it was hard to breathe. It felt like, so if you were to lay on the ground on your back and have somebody sit on, like a child, sit on your chest and try and breathe, that's what it felt like. And so that's, it kind of feels that way when you're having an asthma attack, but with an asthma attack, you can take your inhaler, like your fast-acting inhaler, and that will give you some relief and will, usually stop an asthma attack. Now, if you're having a really bad asthma attack, you can go to the hospital, go to the ER, and in the ER, they will give you a breathing treatment and a steroid, and they'll usually give you a steroid that'll last a couple days. You'll take it for a couple days, and they'll give you breathing treatments until your oxygen level comes up. Well, the weird thing with COVID is, number one, they don't want you going to the hospital unless you absolutely, basically what I was told is, if you can't get enough air behind you that you could complete a sentence, they don't want you coming in. And if you don't have a fever, they don't want you coming in. So the other thing too is with COVID, it can feel like you can't breathe, meaning that your chest is really tight and you're really struggling to breathe, like it's making me nervous just talking about it. So it can feel like that, but if you do put a pulse oximeter, whatever they're called, on the tip of your finger, it will show that you are getting oxygen in your blood. And so if I was having an asthma attack, so you could have 100%, so it goes up to 100%. That's a good oxygen level. If I was having an asthma attack on just an average day, if my oxygen level were to drop to a 94 or a 92, they would, in the ER, they would start me on a breathing treatment and they would put me on steroids because they would consider that really, really low. This is just to kind of give you a range of what they do with COVID. Now, I was in Utah, okay, so Washington State, my doctor here told me this is, she's like, no, we would have told you to go to the ER. In Utah, they told me at the ER, they said, unless your oxygen level drops to an 88 or an 87 and you're running a fever of 101.4, we don't want you to come in. So that's like, you're on your deathbed, then come in and see us. So, I mean, basically I isolated, and it was really, really scary. I didn't know if I was going to get worse. I didn't feel like I was ever going to get better, and it was not like the flu. I've had the flu several times in my life, and I've had pneumonia many times, and this virus was nothing like those. I guess if you put the flu and pneumonia together, that's what it felt like, to put those two together, and you're having an asthma attack. That's probably what I felt like. It was horrible, and but because I didn't develop pneumonia and my lungs stayed clear, I was never admitted to the hospital. So I'm very grateful for that. And as you can see, I survived. But there's a new thing called a COVID long hauler, and I fall into that category, meaning that my lung capacity is not back to normal. They don't know if it will return to normal. I still have no sense of smell. I can taste, but I think that my sense of taste is not the same as it was, because your sense of smell and your sense of taste are connected. So it's off a little bit. And so my breathing and my sense of smell have not yet returned, and I mean, I can breathe, but my lung capacity is not back to normal. So it's been a long haul, and I'm still not completely done. And so that's been what's happening with that. So that was in October. So October, November, December, we finished January, so I'm 3.5, 4 months out from I was exposed at the end of September. So it's been frustrating, but it is what it is, right? And then, so that was October, and then Thanksgiving hit, and then Christmas hit, and then here we are in January, and now we got a new puppy. So I've been busy with that, and we got a little Shetland sheepdog. If you don't know what a Shetland sheepdog is, or a Sheltie for short, they look like Lassie, but miniature. But they're not a miniature collie. They're a whole breed of their own. And they have a lot of energy, and it's just like having a new baby that bites you all the time and wants to chew on everything. So, so I've been busy. It's been busy, but it's been good. And let's see, what else? I just did a podcast interview for my friend. She has a podcast, and so we just did that. So that's exciting. I'm waiting for that to come out, and I just talked about what else but bipolar and what that's like, and so yeah, that's kind of what's been going on. On the bipolar front, I'm actually doing really pretty well. I've only had a few little miniature, crying fits because I'm not getting any sleep because of the dog. So, I'm not sure how thrilled my psychiatrist is going to be when he finds out that I've taken on a new responsibility. But, pets are healing, and I'm hoping that once she's trained and she is grown a little bit, that it will be a good, positive thing. And that is what we are shooting for. So that's about it. If you're watching this and you have not subscribed to my channel, and you have not watched any of my videos, first of all, go watch some of my videos, and I hope you like them, and I hope that you subscribe. And that's all I have. I hope you guys are having a great new year. It's been interesting, right? It's been crazy. And I hope that 2021 is a much better year than 2020 was. We have new vaccines on board. By the way, I got my first shot. I got Moderna, so I'm doing the Moderna vaccine, and you might say, why did you get a shot? You just had COVID? Why your immunity, right? I've gotten that question from a lot of people. Why would you do that? So I got a text. I'll end this video with this. I got a text from my doctor's from the clinic saying, "Congratulations, you qualify for a vaccine. Text or call to make an appointment, to schedule your appointment." So I called and talked to the nurse, and I had that same question, like, I just had COVID, do I need the vaccine? And her answer was yes. And this is what she said. If you have already had COVID and it's been 90 days, they do not know how long your immunity lasts. So they're saying that if it's been 90 days, you should get vaccinated. And because, yes, I have had COVID, but because it affected my lungs, they do not advise, number one, that anybody get COVID. But especially if you've had it and it's already affected your lungs, you're at a higher risk that if you get it again, that there could be further damage. So that's why I got it. And did I experience any side effects from the vaccine? I did. That felt like the flu. I got a fever. I got achy muscles. I got achy joints. I got the chills really bad. And I went to urgent care because I felt like crap. But the doctor said it's all normal, it's to be expected, and probably because I just had COVID and I still probably had a little bit of the strain floating around in my system, that I probably had more of a reaction than what I normally would have had. But it's your body's, it's the vaccine doing what it's supposed to do. It's building up immunity to COVID. And once they gave me fluids and they gave me, I want to say it's called tramadol, something like that. I could be wrong about that, but it started with a T. Once they gave me that, the fluids, the next, I went home and I slept. The next day I felt completely fine. No problems. She did warn me that the second shot, my side effects would probably be more intense. So I'm a little nervous about that, but she said definitely I need to get the second shot. So that will happen very shortly, like next week. So there's that. If you can get the vaccine, I say get the vaccine. Everyone feels differently. Everybody has their own opinion. Everyone feels different. I say, the side effects from the vaccine were nothing compared to the COVID. Nothing. So with that, guys, I hope you're having a great day. I hope you have a great week. And until we talk again, bye.